Hi, I'm Stan Kessler, and this is my partner, Todd Strait, and this is A Matter of Time. This is a clinic about time and all the aspects thereof, and how to develop a sense of time in yourself internally, and also the dynamics of time within a group setting. And it's an old subject, but this is our take on it.
So kind of our intention is to, discuss how to strengthen time, as Stan said. But if you're not familiar with how to make a rhythm section sound stronger, or if just this genre is not as familiar to you as others, this may help yourself and, your bands in school and out of school. So there's a couple different ways that I see to play really good time. One is metronomically, where it's absolutely steady and strong. Obviously, the best way to, or one of the best ways to develop that is to play with the metronome. And that can be a little laborious at first, but it actually, once it gets comfortable, it's a lot of fun.
Playing with recordings is an excellent way of establishing your internal clock. And I suggest that you, if you're not a drummer or even a piano player, which is a very percussive instrument, I suggest you work out with a percussion instrument with a metronome or a recording. And then recordings are obviously more fun. All of my students, most of which are horn players, specifically trumpet, I actually have them play drums. And what that does is, when you're playing percussion or playing drums especially, it brings the sense of time into the physical plane. It integrates it into your body, so it's not just in your head.
If you have a metronome, whether it's an application on your phone or, an old school Dr. Beat like I've got, if you can set the volume to about the same volume as your percussion instrument, and just set the tempo at like 120 or some kind of medium tempo, and see how often you can hit exactly when the metronome plays.
I would say that playing good time or having a sense of good time is your number one priority. And I've made an informal survey among my colleagues, and they all agree. All of them, 100% agree. Time is the number one thing. And horn players, if you want to become the rhythm section's best friend, what you want to do is establish a sense of trust. In fact, really, this is what it's about in general. When you're playing in an ensemble, is the way you establish a sense of trust is showing that you have excellent time.
Then, it frees everybody up to be more creative and relaxed. Okay, so while we're to strengthen your time feel, I believe that it's important to know every part of the measure. So we're going to start with the duple feel in eighth notes or 16th notes. I'm going to ask my worthy constituent Stan here to be my metronome for me, as he mentioned. So how about there? So we've got the metronome on, okay? Besides playing, stuff with the metronome that's written on a page, just thinking about the time. And so, like we talked about a moment ago, trying to match it exactly. And then to get to know other parts of the measure, like let's say we want to know the ands. So 1 and 2 and 3. So what I would do would play let's say I want to do 16th notes, without ever playing the downbeat. Keep going. So those two things are fairly easy, but the reason I don't want to play the downbeat is because I want to be able to feel the downbeat inside without having to actually hear it. So we'll talk about triplets now. So, and of course, you know, in jazz, this is a lot of what we deal with. So we've got, besides focusing on the bass again, we're going to think, let's take the next easiest one to hear because it's the most familiar to us, which is the third note of the triplet. And that would be basically the swing note or the swung note. So when we have triplets, it's the third note of the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet.
And so, you know, bottom line is like whether it's eighth notes or triplets or whatever, in between, that sense of the internal clock has to be running constantly. It never stops. One, two, three.
So as Stan mentioned, you know, music is a language, and there's a great video that I would recommend on YouTube by Victor Wooten, and he talks about how he developed his mastery of the language, and you know, it just makes so much sense. So you have to, as you said, you have to be able to sing it and sing the feel of it. Mm-hmm. To really understand it. It goes back to muscles doing what your brain tells them to do. So this is the most important muscle up here. And if you know what you want to express, then it's a matter of teaching your muscles how to get the idea from here out, whether it's you know, vocally or through an instrument or however it is. But it's got to be up here first. That's, yeah. So music is a language. It's a great one.